Let us see the next question. Following two companies are dealing in same risk class. Dear students, the same risk class means both of them are doing same business. Both of them are manufacturing air conditioner, or both of them are say dealing in the telecom line of the business, or both of them are say manufacturing laptop. Both of them are doing same kind of business. Has the following data of the recent year. That is a company called K Limited, Ketan Ltd, R Limited, that is Rakesh Ltd. The amount of the operating income is given 60,000. Debt financing is given. For Rakesh Limited it is 1,50,000 and for Ketan Limited it is 0. Means Ketan Limited is unlevered firm in our example and Rakesh Limited is levered firm. Equity value. For Ketan it is given 3 lakhs and for Rakesh it is given 2,43,750. Value of the firm, it is total of both of them. Debt value plus equity value. Prove as per Modi-Gilani Miller approach theory, theory, that due to arbitrage process, market value of the both firms will become equal. Market value of both firms will become equal, assuming no taxes. I request all of you to go through the question please, and then we'll discuss how to do answer. I want you to write in the chat box that what kind of unusual point that you observe in this question. So now friends, over here, the unusual point that say we have in this question is that, see, approach is followed. Yes. There is a situation of no tax. Yes. Both the companies are dealing in the same risk class. Yes. They have same operating income. Yes. So they should be having same value. Instead of that, say they are having different value. So this is the unusual point that we have. Let us answer the question. First point. In this question, we can find that A, approach is followed. B, there are no taxes. C, both firms operate in same risk class. D, both firms have same operating income. With paragraph write down. So they should have same value. However, they have different value. Full stop. Second point, through arbitrage process, value of both of them will become equal. Dear students, I want you to understand that concept. I give you some explanation to explain that. Suppose I want to purchase a mobile phone, and for that, say my budget is like, let us say, 20,000 rupees. I type in the Google that say mobile instruments with the price range up to 20,000, and in that case, suppose I do such a research, I'll have the few options, or I will have number of options. We understand that I'll have number of options. Now from all these options which I have, let us say I pick Samsung phone. So it is basically the victory of the Samsung phone over the customer, and this is difficult. Customer is having set a number of options. From all of them, say customer comes only to you, that is very difficult. So the approach says that, say, the company is operating in the same risk class, means the company is doing same business and they have the same operating income. It means that, say, both of them are equally efficient. See, suppose you meet a person who is, say, in the restaurant end of the business. He has a complaint that on Saturday and Sunday I have like 150 200% of the demand of the capacity that I have. So I feel very regret that I don't have the enough capacity to um, like entertain my customers on Saturday and Sunday. But unfortunately, the remaining 5 days, so the occupancy is less than 50%. However, that is not the kind of problem which only that restaurant. It is the kind of problem with almost every restaurant. Let's say during weekends, so the demand is high, and so during other days the demand is low. What I want to tell you is that, say, any line of the business will have its own pros and cons. If at all you take survey of, let us say, 100 doctors, let's say what are the merits and demerits of your profession. Then in that case, let us say that you are asking for the 10 merits and 10 demerits. Then in that case, you will end up with almost the same kind of the merits and demerits. You will not get the variety kind of the like the merits and demerits, because all of them are doing same business, will have same challenges and same opportunities. So the approach says that the company is doing similar business, they have same operating income, so they should be having same value. With the only capital structure different, they cannot have a different value. So through arbitrage process, arbitrage is a word which is given a name as risk-free profit. That is the technical word. Due to this risk-free profit opportunity, so the value of both firms will become equal. How it will become equal? That is now what I am going to discuss. Now what will happen, dear students? In case of the arbitrage process, listen carefully, in case of arbitrage process, value of the overvalued firm, investors will switch from overvalued firm to undervalued firm. So what will happen? Listen carefully. Investors of Rakesh Ltd in this example will sell equity instruments in the market. So because of that, what will happen? Value of the equity shares will move down in the market. With that, so the value of the firm will move down in the market, and they will purchase the equity shares of Ketan Ltd. So what will happen? Price of Ketan Ltd equity share increases, and with that the value of the firm of Ketan Ltd will increase. There will be a point at which this 3 lakhs will increase, and this 3,93,750 will fall down. There will be a point at which value of these two companies will become same. There will be a point at which value of these two companies will become same, and that is the point at which the arbitrage opportunity will not be available in the market. That is what we understand. Third point, In arbitrage process, investor of overvalued firm will switch to undervalued firm. Full stop. With that, value of overvalued firm will decrease and value of undervalued firm will increase. Full stop. There will be a point at which value of both the companies will be same, comma, at that time arbitrage opportunity will vanish from the market. Full stop. Now you may have a question that, sir, why would the investor switch over? Yes. In the arbitrage process, we are required to show him certain advantages with the switchover. And that is the way we are required to do the arbitrage. So now we are starting with the answer. Assuming that Mr. X is holding 10% equity shares of overvalued firm. In bracket I am writing Rakesh Ltd is entering into arbitrage. Full stop. In bracket write down, we may assume any other percentage also. Bracket over. So we are assuming that there is an investor called Mr. X holding 10% equity shares of Rakesh Ltd is entering into arbitrage. We'll have the working of the answer something like this. Write down answer along with me. Step number 1. current position of Mr. X. We'll write the current position of Mr. X in three things. One, current investment. Second, current income. And third, exposure to debt risk. What is exposure to debt risk? I just explained that to you. So there are three things that we are required to mention. Current investment, current income, and exposure to debt risk. Current investment. Current income. And the last is exposure to debt risk. Okay. Now friends, current investment value is very simple to calculate. It is 10% of 2,43,750. So it comes to rupees 24375. It is 2,43,750 into 10%. The next is the current income. As far as the current income is concerned, it can be calculated like this. We know for Rakesh Ltd, earning before interest and taxes is 60,000. It has debt financing of 1,50,000 and the rate of interest is 14%. So interest, it is 21,000. Earning before taxes 39,000. Earning after taxes 39,000. Equity dividend is 39,000. Income of Mr. X is 3,900. It is 39,000 into 10%. That is the way income of Mr. X can be calculated. Now, exposure to debt risk is a new point. Dear students, it will be calculated as 10% of 1,50,000. That comes to 15,000. Now friends, exposure to debt risk means something like this. You think about a worst situation. Let's say the Rakesh Ltd is going in liquidation. Second, assets of the company do not realize a single penny. Third, the company is having unlimited liability. Then in that case, what Mr. X is required to contribute? 10% of 1,50,000 in order to pay the debentures. And that is exposure to debt risk. I repeat that. You think about a situation, the company is going in liquidation. Assets of the company do not realize anything. The company is having such an unlimited liability. Then in that case, what Mr. X is required to contribute is exposure to debt risk. As I told you that say we are supposed to understand any of the capital structure theory from the point of view of that specific author. So accordingly, this also is required to be understood as per their explanation. Read on with paragraph. Exposure to debt risk means an amount payable by Mr. X in the event of A. Company going in liquidation, B. Assets of the company does not realize anything, C. Company has unlimited liability. In that situation, amount payable by Mr. X. Step number 2. Mr. X will be advised to sell equity shares of Rakesh Ltd. Full stop. With that, Mr. X will realize rupees 24375, 2,43,715 into 10%. Step number 3. Before I dictate the third step, I want you to tell me that what would be the debt exposure if Mr. X is making investment in Ketan Ltd. Answer is 0. So we understand that say when you will switch over from, I'm speaking technical language, from levered to unlevered, then in that case the exposure to debt financing will be 0. However, you do not want to keep it 0. Why? Because earlier it was 15,000. So right now also it should be 15,000. Approach says that say we have to convince the investor that see, your exposure to debt risk does not change, your investment does not change, and you will have an increase in the income. That is the reason so the approach made an assumption that corporate leverage can be substituted with the personal leverage. Whatever the rate at which a company can borrow itself is the rate at which even a small investor can borrow. So now what will happen? In order to keep the exposure to debt risk same, Mr. X will borrow an amount of rupees 15,000 at the rate of 14%. Right on answer? Mr. X will borrow rupees 15,000 at the rate of 14%. Full stop. With paragraph write down, as we can see that Ketan Limited is an unlevered firm. Full stop. Investing in Ketan Limited will have no debt exposure. Full stop. So Mr. X will borrow rupees 15,000 at the rate of 14%. With paragraph write down, it is assumed that corporate leverage can be substituted with personal leverage. Full stop.